Okay, good morning. It's Saturday, April 22nd, and I'm going to do a video just on Bitcoin this morning. I went to bed last night, California time in the United States. Bitcoin was around 12:45. Woke up this morning and Bitcoin is around 12:10. So it had a little correction overnight. And I just want to take a look at the chart and share some thoughts. So um, this is a GAN chart that goes back to late 2015, and I'm showing this because it has a couple interesting trend lines, and it shows that as we follow this trend line, whenever we've passed it, we've had some pretty big drawdowns. So we got over it here and had a drawdown. Was able to get past the line here, past the line here, and every time there was a drawdown. This is the ETF nonsense right here. But the price is pretty close to this critical point again. So that's a clean chart. I'm going to show a chart that I published on TradingView back in February. This is the same chart, just a little less clean. You can see I had a prediction that we would go up and then come down to the blue box. We actually did go up beyond what I predicted, and then we came down to this blue box. Just my timing was off. But again, it just shows that there's some validity to this trend line being pretty important. So with the drawdown overnight, this trend line saying that if we need to hold around 1180, if we hold 1180, we'll still be above this trend line. And if we don't, then we're going to fall below, and the potential for a larger drawdown, I think, opens up. This is really, really loose technical analysis. This is just like really high level trends. But again, I think that this trend line's really been a line in the sand. We've popped above it and fell below it pretty dramatically. We even bounced off it right here. So if we break below 1180 significantly, maybe 1160, then I think that has potential for a much larger drawdown. So that's a number to watch. 1180 is your short-term number to watch over the weekend. Let's take a look at another chart here. This is an interesting chart. I just made this the other day. I've always known, everybody knows Bitcoin's pretty volatile. But when I started to put the numbers together, I was really surprised at the level of volatility. And I want to share this because, maybe you'll see something for yourself. So going back to late 2016, we had a 67% rise in the price of Bitcoin from, roughly 700 to 1140, and 67% increase in price in 52 days. Then we had a 34% drawdown in 8 days. 8 days, 34%. That was right around the first of the year. Then we had a 73% increase in 50 days, followed by a 32% drawdown in 21 days, followed by our current run, which is a 41% return in 28 days. So this is really volatile. I mean, I know it's volatile, but when you put it onto a chart like this and start to look at the percentages, I was even shocked. So one of the reasons I put this up is because on a long time frame, if Bitcoin does go parabolic, and we do have multiple returns from here, this will just look like a portion of the chart. It won't stand out as much. But my question is this an accumulation or distribution section? Now, what does that mean? That's part of the Wyckoff cycle. So go ahead and Google Wyckoff if you're not familiar. But accumulation, if this is accumulation, this would be very, very bullish. If this is distribution, this means that we're going to go down from here. So I don't have an answer for that, but I kind of saw this as this sawtooth pattern, this up, down, up, down, up, down. That is indicative of an accumulation or distribution pattern for Wyckoff. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that was interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see where it goes. This is another chart on Bitcoin showing some Wyckoff patterns that I've seen historically. So the red boxes are basically fractals. I'm just using the red boxes to point out a repeat of a pattern. This goes back to when Bitcoin was in $300 to $400. We had the Wyckoff markup phase, followed by a selling climax, followed by accumulation, followed by a markup phase, selling climax, etc. Comes up and does it again. It actually has two selling climaxes here, two markup phases. So this is all showing basically a repeat of the cycle over and over. So the Wyckoff cycle will do markup, selling climax, reset, do the same thing, repeat itself. So my question is, we have a small, medium, and large box. Are we going to have an extra large box? Are we going to continue to scale up and scale up and scale up? If this pattern continues, then yes. The thing that has me be skeptical or even bring this up is I'm not sure if we're at the effect of Bitfinex. Because on the putting technical analysis aside, on the fundamental side, Bitfinex is one of the major exchanges, and it's been having some rumors swirl around about it being solvent. Now, if you remember back to Mt. Gox, Bitcoin had a tremendous run up because Mt. Gox was insolvent, and they didn't share that information for a period of time. During that period of time, the price of Bitcoin ran up because we had basically a fake market. So my only concern here is I like this pattern and I like this chart, but are we waiting for the other shoe to drop with Bitfinex? Are we going to have an anomaly or a one-time event where another exchange has a failure? And this has all just been kind of a bit of an illusion. If so, then this is going to, we're going to have a pretty big crash. And if not, then expect this box to repeat. Again, that's why I think right now, if you have long-term holdings, I would hold on to them. But I wouldn't open any new positions until we really get a direction and a trend established. I'm talking probably 1,300 or, close to 1,100. I would just hold on right now and wait until that plays out. So those are my thoughts on Bitcoin for the weekend. 1180 is your bearish target to keep an eye on. And I'd say, probably 1,300 for a bullish breakout. Leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a great weekend.